Welcome to the Top Secret Wedding Podcast. And today's top secret tip is if you find yourself typing the same things over and over again when you're in your browser, check out the magical Chrome extension. It'll save you a ton of time.
Want to learn what digital tools we use? Listen to this episode.
This is the Top Secret Wedding Podcast, where we share top secret tips to help you take your wedding game to the next level.
I'm Annika, and I'm a wedding coordinator, enthusiast, and venue manager for one of the best venues in Idaho.
I'm Chris, and I'm a DJ, master of ceremonies, and all-around lover of weddings.
We're on a mission to improve weddings and wedding professionals everywhere.
All right, so today we're talking about digital tools. Some of our suggestions, some of the ones that we use.
And this is by no means like an exhaustive list, but this is maybe a place, especially if you're just getting started in business,
Yes.
might be a good place to start.
Yeah.
So let's start with, I think, the easiest one that probably most people already have, Gmail. And I guess maybe I'm a little biased because I haven't used all the other ones, but I do judge somebody if they give me an AOL address.
Yeah. Well, and this is me going to be naive, but do people even not use Gmail anymore?
Yeah, they do.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. I get like AOL and Yahoo and
Wow.
Hotmail. Yeah, so
Yeah. Okay.
I like Gmail the best. I think it's the best. But
I have a Hotmail for my junk mail.
so I've got a tip for junk mail.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to that here.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So Gmail is really nice because it's free and you can sign up for as many as you want. You can also use Gmail for your professional accounts. So for me, our website is wildfiredj.com. I have my email, chris@wildfiredj.com. So you can run that through Gmail.
Yes.
Which is really nice. And you can also have that, if you set it up correctly, you can have that in the same inbox as maybe your personal email address. So that way it's all in the same place and you don't have to switch accounts.
Yeah, I will say, because that is one thing I really do love about Gmail is because I am signed into 1,000 different emails and I can just have
Didn't you say you got maxed out?
I did. Actually, funny story. Yesterday, I had to sign out of all my accounts because I had to add another one.
Oh my goodness.
And so I'm probably signed into
There's a limit.
15
apparently.
accounts, but there's a limit of 10 at a time.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's nice because you can just have all of them in one inbox.
Yeah.
So,
and so because you're probably thinking, well, if I do that, it's going to be really confusing. But it will label like ones that come into my normal inbox. It doesn't label those unless I tell it to specifically. But anything that comes in under my professional account, it will label that's come in under my professional account. And also, when you reply, as long as you have it set up correctly, it will reply from the same place that it was sent to. So I don't accidentally send it from my personal account. When you're starting an email, you have to be careful to make sure you're sending it from the right account. But I don't think, knock on wood, I don't think I've ever had a mishap where that's happened.
Yeah. Well, and I will say in general, Gmail is very user-friendly.
I think so.
Yeah.
I agree. So some of the cool features of Gmail, canned responses. If you're not using canned responses, get to it. Basically, it's just text that's already saved in there that you can just so for example, my reviews, anytime I send an email out for reviews, I just use my canned response for reviews. And of course I go in and I edit that, but that way
customize it.
Yeah.
But you're not wasting time typing the same thing over and over again.
Especially like the links, the review links.
Yeah.
That would take forever. So it's already in there, pre-formatted. It makes it so much easier. So, and there are probably awesome ways to use canned responses that I'm not using right now.
Yeah.
And there are also tools, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but there are tools that you can use alongside Gmail where it's like canned responses, but they've really souped it up. So you can just use like snippets from,
Interesting.
So I haven't used that. I feel like it would be a lot to set up, but I'm sure it's useful. So
yeah, for sure. And another thing that
yeah.
I really like with Gmail and most emails is including an email signature.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, of course, there's nothing wrong with like just physically typing annika.labellake.com, but like, I don't know, an email signature, it's super, super quick and easy to make one. You can make one real quick on Canva, upload it in, and just send every single email with an email signature.
Yeah.
And it takes your game to the next level.
It does. However, recently I had a problem where a ton of my emails were going to spam.
Oh, because of that?
Because of the signature. I tried to
Really?
figure out what it was,
Interesting.
and it was because I had a picture, I think,
yeah.
in my signature. So I
Yeah.
took that out and no more problems. So I think it's still good to have your signature in there, but just make sure that you're reviewing that it's not going to spam all the time.
Totally.
So we talked about custom email. Oh, okay. So here are my tips for spam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So with every email address, you actually get an unlimited amount of email addresses,
Mm-hmm.
variations. So, for example, if my email address, let's say it's chris@gmail.com, I could put a period anywhere in that, and it would still go to the same place. And by the way, if you didn't know, capitals, lowercase, doesn't matter in
It
emails.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So it's always funny to me when somebody says, okay, capital C, I'm like, doesn't matter, but I don't correct it. So I could put c.hris
Mm-hmm.
at gmail.com. Still go to the same place. Also, you can put a plus at the end of whatever your name is.
Yeah.
So I could put Chris plus, let's say I was signing up for National Geographic.
Yeah.
I could put Chris plus natgeo at gmail.com.
Uh-huh.
Still goes to my email address.
Really?
Yeah. And then I know if somebody sold my email address, I knew who sold it. So if they start getting spam from, So
Interesting.
So yeah, so I don't know how useful that is, but yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's definitely interesting. So
Gmail. That's
Gmail's
tool.
good. Yeah.
good tool. Let's talk about CRMs.
Yeah. What do you use?
So I use, as far as the CRM goes, it's called DJEP.
Okay.
I used to use one called, shoot, I can't even remember what it's called now. Called Tave. And it's mostly geared towards photographers.
Okay.
But I switched over to DJEP, which is DJ Event Planner, because it's geared to DJ specifically. The biggest complaint is that it's ugly.
Oh,
It's
really?
ugly, and it is. It's
Yeah.
not the cutest thing, but it does have all of the tools that I want as a DJ. It has them all in there. It does
Yeah.
payroll, it does time, it does equipment,
nice.
it does everything that I want it to, and especially for multi-ops where you have multiple DJs, it does it for all that too. Like
Wow.
I can schedule different DJs, and I can set up automations for this DJ if he's got it's great.
That's awesome.
So it's a really good tool. And yeah, so that's what I use as far as the CRM goes. What do you use?
So we use Planning Pod. Honestly, I was not a part of LaBelle when they were doing all of the shopping, and so I know they did a bunch of comparison and everything and settled on Planning Pod.
Yeah.
With my experience, it's fantastic. I love it. Again, it does everything that I need it to do. And bonus is it's very cute.
Yeah. Oh, it would have to be,
It
right?
would have to be.
How much is it? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I do know there's different levels based on how many events you use.
Oh, that's how they do it. Okay.
Yeah, so I know like we had a different level and then we maxed out our events. So, that's a good problem to have. And so
Yeah.
we upgraded. But I mean, it's very user friendly. It has access for you and all your staff. It does everything from invoicing to floor plans to if you have banquet orders and stuff, it's got the BEOs in there. It has so many tools. There's also like forms builders. So when we do our details meetings with our brides, we just have a custom made form that we go through and fill out.
Okay.
And then not only that, but you can also give your clients access to their portal so they can see like their contracts, invoice, floor
How much they
plans.
paid, all that.
Yeah, all that stuff. So it's just very user friendly. Yeah, honestly, I dig it.
That's
So,
cool. Do you have any? Do clients ever comment on it, positive or negative or anything?
probably just what I've heard is that they love that they can log into their portal.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
we get some that, when we book someone, we set every single person up with their portal so they can sign up and log into it if they want. I I would say it's about 50-50 of who actually
Uses it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but those who do use it, they do like it.
Yeah.
So
Our DJEP does have that ability, and so we give every client their own little account.
yeah.
And it's mostly, I mean, frankly, for me, it's mostly so they can log in and pay their bill.
Yeah. Yep.
There's not much else in there for them, to be honest. Their DJEP does have planning tools,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't use it because, so I'll mention this. The reason we don't use it is because we use Vibo, which you've seen.
Okay. Yeah.
Vibo, I think, for me, it's been a game changer. It's a planning app specifically for DJs, and it allows you to build a schedule. It allows you to put all of these really cool things in there that just, it's beautiful for DJs. And it's an app, so my clients have it.
Okay. If Planning Pod ever hears this, like, I wish they had an app.
Yeah.
They don't have an app, and it is so hard to not, like, you're always on your phone.
Right.
But so that I am jealous.
Yeah, it is. It is nice, and it's totally worth it. So, with all of these things, though, I think the real benefit comes when you start automating stuff.
Yes, agreed.
What kind of stuff do you have automated on your end?
So we've got like contracts, invoices, I mean, even basic floor plans automated. Like, I don't know, we practically have everything automated.
Yeah.
And then we just customize, you know? Yeah, I can't think of one thing we don't have automated. Even all of our forms builders, like, they're all just there.
And it makes it so nice.
It makes it so fast, so easy, so nice.
I remember when I first started with Google Docs, like, I have to build every single thing, every single contract. And now I put the customer's information in, and then literally I click a button, it builds the contract and sends the email.
Yeah.
And then it will remind them in a week. And then a week later, it'll say, okay, your contract's expiring. So, and I don't have to think about any of that. And I book people because of my automated system.
Right. Yeah. I should look into that a little bit more.
Yeah. Make sure that it's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, you don't have a problem with booking people. So,
right. No, it's true. It's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So,
but yeah, no, I think, well, even just, you know, everybody's busy, everybody has a life, and it gets really tedious if you have to sit there and remember, oh, well, they still don't have their contract signed, let's send it again or whatever. Like,
yeah.
if you can just have that automation and it goes,
Yep.
it's only gonna make your life easier.
Let's do an episode on automation. Let's do it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next tool.
Yeah.
Which I love.
I love too. I'm new to this and I love it. Yeah.
Oh, Google Voice.
Yeah. Well, you're the one that convinced me to move to Google Voice.
Well, you're welcome.
It's great.
Google Voice is fantastic. So if you're not familiar, it's free. It's a free phone number from Gmail or from Google. I mean, the cool thing about it is you can have a second phone number on your current phone.
Yeah.
And also if you have different team members, because you guys use it this way, right?
Yes. So I will say the version that we use is not free, but it's worth it.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you pay for?
It's stupid cheap, but it's...
But what are the features you're having to pay for?
Because you have to have a separate email. You're basically paying for the email because each user has to have an email. So that's how I have like Annika@labellake.com, Ellie@labellake.com.
Oh, so you're talking about Google...
It's the business, but the Google Voice, from my understanding, if you want more than one person to answer it as a team, then they each have to have their own Google
Gotcha.
part of your business.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's super, super cheap. It's totally worth it. And the biggest thing that made me change over to it is we were using a different phone system.
Yeah.
Still one that goes to all of our phones and everything, but there was no texting. And nowadays, people text.
You have to.
Like, you have to text.
Yeah.
The amount of times we would get an email or a voice call of like, I've tried texting 1,000 times and there's no response. I was like, oh, well, it's not. It's basically a landline.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But with Google Voice, like, I love it because, let me look at it really fast.
Yeah.
But when you pull it up, it's, you know, you can see all the calls, you can text, and it's my work number, so I can text all my brides, from my work number. I've
Yeah.
had horror stories of giving out my personal number, and now I am so like my
Right.
staff will be like, well, can't I just shoot a text or can't I just call from I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
it.
Like you open that door a crack
Yep.
and it will just fly open.
Yep.
But I love it because I can text whenever I need to make a call. I can also switch between my work number or LaBelle's number.
Oh, right.
So it's great because honestly, I don't give out my work number all that much either.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather it just go through
The official.
the official channel.
Yep.
But I can switch between, which I do like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's super helpful. I also have, so here's some Google Voice tricks. I have my text messages also sent to my Gmail
Yes.
because I find that the Google Voice text message search doesn't work great.
Agreed.
Don't
Yep.
love it. So it's better through Gmail.
Yeah.
Other things you can do is you can upload a voicemail greeting, which is nice.
Yes. Yes.
So you can
I was like, wait, did I do that?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
you can call and record, but you can also upload if you want something
Yeah.
even more professional. You can set times.
Yes. Which again, I'm so passionate about like respecting your schedule and your boundaries. And so setting times is so good.
Yeah. Another thing that I keep wanting to dive into, but there's this little weird trick that you can do with Google Voice. So anytime somebody texts you
Mm-hmm.
on Google Voice, it creates an email address for that. And it's the same email address every time that person texts you. So in theory, you could set it up in your CRM
Gotcha.
to text them by sending an email from your CRM.
Right. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So
Yeah.
I haven't set that up, but in theory, that could be super powerful.
Oh yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I just don't want to do it. So yeah, Google Voice, amazing.
It's good.
It's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
So, the other thing that for me, Google Voice was powerful for, I've kept my California area code just because
Yeah.
I love it. That's what everybody has.
That's how I am with my.
And anytime I tried to call any of my customers in Idaho, they were like, spam.
Yeah.
So
No,
I have a local
agreed.
number here now.
Agreed. That's exactly how it is for me. Because again, Austin, Texas represent. I don't want to give up my 512.
Yep.
But yeah, now I have a local number. So.
Yeah. Google Voice, A+. Love it.
Mhm.
Okay, the next one, Magical Chrome extension. I love this thing. I should probably customize it more, but basically what it does, it's a text replacer. So I can set, like, if I type in mine, it's SSSS. If I type that in, it'll say, this is Chris from Wildfire Entertainment. Thanks for reaching
Oh.
out. Sorry, we're not available for your day.
I
Wish
see
you
what
all the
you're
best.
saying.
So I can put in
Yeah.
whatever I want. So it's like canned responses, but for
Right.
any place you type in Chrome.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It's really,
That's
really
pretty
useful
cool.
for things that I'm having to type in over and over. You could do that for your email address. You could do that for whatever you want.
Even like Facebook message.
Yeah,
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's powerful.
it's really good.
Mhm.
So things that I'm finding that I'm typing over and over again, I use Magical. And you can also do that with your Android or iPhone. There's a way you can do that as
Yeah.
well. So I think there might be a character limit on that. Like you can only put in so many characters.
Yeah.
But if you're typing things in on your phone over and over and over again, use that so that you don't have to type that in because it's even worse on your phone.
Oh yeah, agreed. Still on the. You get to move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Hey,
Next one.
still on the whole Google thing. But
Yeah.
Google Drive. I love Google Drive.
How do you guys use Google Drive?
Honestly, that's how we use everything with our team because just everything's on the drive.
But so how do you work with that and Planning Pod? Do they integrate or
So
what do you use for one? What do you use for the other?
good question. So usually how I explain it is Planning Pod is everything to do with the contracts, invoicing, and with clients.
Okay.
Google Drive is everything else, if that makes sense. So like, I mean, honestly, I think we're getting to a point where probably like my venue consultants don't look at the drive as much as I do.
Okay.
But as far as my assistant and I, like, just everything from, well, okay, we used to store photos on it, but we do something else now.
Yeah.
But I mean, just all the, I don't know, anytime you need a spreadsheet or a doc or whatever, it's just all on the drive, and then you can share the access as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing is like the owners will log into Planning Pod for all the logistics.
Yeah.
But I mean, something as simple as even like, so Planning Pod doesn't have the like timesheets and all the fun logistics of the handbook and payroll and all of that stuff.
Okay.
And so like not our LaBelle Lake drive, but my Annika at LaBelle Lake drive.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I keep a lot of those, I don't know, the fun logistics of the business, if that makes sense. And then I can just share it to the owners.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like the ability to share. The way that I use Google Drive, so I don't have my contracts on there. I have all my photos on there.
Yeah.
I have all, like, not all videos, but like videos for this podcast. That's where I put them.
Right.
I also have anytime I have a like a client, I make a folder for them, and then I just put everything to do with that client in that folder. So after the wedding, I put their music files in there so I can send them like follow-ups.
Yeah.
Right. I also have forms for employees on there. Anything that we do for this podcast, the spreadsheets, all of that, that's on there. What else do I have in there? I mean, I use it for everything.
Yeah.
Instead of storing it on my computer.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's hard to explain, but instead of going like file save and saving to your computer, it's just all on the drive.
Yep.
Another big thing that we use Google Drive for is at LaBelle Lake with our internship program, we use Google Classroom, and all of that syncs to the drive.
That's awesome.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, because again, there you can like give access and revoke access and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool. I also back up this is actually really helpful. I back up my music to Google Drive.
Yeah.
So my whole library of music is on Google Drive. And there have been a couple of times where one of my DJs, they're like, shoot, this file isn't working or whatever. And so I'm just from my phone. I remember I was in Vegas at a conference, and from my phone, I sent them a link. I said, here, log on, hotspot it and log on. And it saved the day. Yeah.
Well, I think even like on a personal level, I still use my computer to save files, but I love saving to my personal drive.
Yeah.
Because I can access it anywhere.
Right.
That's the thing. I know, like, I was at a funeral in Arizona and I made a slideshow and I like sent it to my dad, or something happened and I didn't have my laptop.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, no, what are we going to do? I'm like, oh, well, I saved it to my drive. Here it is. Like, I just need any computer or whatever. Like, I can just log in and it's there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I love it.
Love it.
I could talk. There's a lot of other things I use Google Drive for, but I think that's sufficient. Dive into it.
Dive into it. There's a lot it offers. I feel like with all of these, that's my one of my pieces of advice is like, be sure you dive in to know everything it does. Because even like, jumping back to Planning Pod for a second, when I was first on the team, we were literally only using it for contracts and invoices.
Right.
That was it. And I was like, well, hey, like we're paying for all these features. Let's use all these features.
Oh, for sure. Right.
And so with all of these, like even Google Drive, there's so much it offers. So just do some experimenting and make sure you're using every aspect of it, if that makes sense.
And I would say, on the flip side of that also, make sure that you are, that you're not handicapping yourself by not using a tool. So I know a lot of people use Google Drive for everything, for their accounting, for their contracts, but there are better tools out there.
Totally.
So make sure you're also looking for the other tools that are meant for what it does. Google Drive, you can pretty much run your whole business off of.
Yeah.
However, since moving to DJEP, it makes my life way easier.
Totally.
So yeah. Yep. Facebook Creator Studio. Do they call it Meta Studio now? I don't know.
Meta Business Suite.
Okay, that sounds right.
So, yeah. I was like, what's Facebook Creator Studio?
Yeah. I think that changed since I made this.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're not familiar, it allows you to schedule posts. It allows you to for Instagram and Facebook.
It's super handy. Again, we used to be, before Meta Business Suite took over to where it was and everything, we used to pay a different program so we could schedule everything out.
Yeah.
And then they switched this around and it was like, hey, like, we're already, like,
it's free.
It's free. Like, let's just, and it is really great. It is also really cool too, because you can give different access into it. So for example, with our internship program, we're able to give our interns access as a creator level. And so they can go in and do all of this without having full-blown access.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a great tool.
It's cool. It's easy to use.
Yep.
Schedule your post. I think that's my one suggestion as well, is like, if you are physically posting, it just takes so much time. Just like sit down with your favorite little drink for 30 minutes and you can schedule out so many posts and they just post automatically.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah. Good tool.
Okay.
My bonus.
Yeah.
My bonus digital tool, which is kind of a cheat, is Fiverr.
Fiverr's good.
I love Fiverr. If there's ever a task that I don't want to do or that is going to take me a long time, I just outsource it to Fiverr.
Yeah. What exactly is Fiverr?
So, okay. Fiverr is basically an online marketplace where you can hire people to do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
It's cool.
Yeah. So, for example, a couple of things that I've used it for, I recently had it's hard to explain. I had a poster made for a couple because I was doing their ceremony and there's something of reference in the ceremony and I wanted to make a poster so they could put it up in their home that would remind them of their ceremony.
Yeah.
And so I paid somebody to do it. And they did well, I had to go back and fix some of the things because I cheaped out and I didn't pay very much. But it was really nice because they got everything I wanted on there and then just fine-tuned it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I used it for is somebody came to me and they said, hey, I found this TikTok video of this song that I want to use for my entrance. The problem was the TikTok video was only like 30 seconds. It wasn't long enough for their bridal entrance.
Yeah.
And so I copied that. I sent the link to somebody on Fiverr and they recorded it for me.
That's awesome.
Recorded a longer version for me.
Wow. That's awesome.
I think it cost me like $35.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Impressed the client. So.
Yeah. The thing too that I like about Fiverr is there's different price points depending on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But you can shop around and, I used Fiverr this last winter with Ice Palace. We were needing recordings done and I could kind of shop around by voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, there's some people that are like, oh, well, it's $200 or $5 or whatever. And you can kind of see and compare and find what works best for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Fiverr's a great tool for certain things. For sure.
For certain things, yeah.
So
agreed. But
those are our digital tools. Any others?
Not all.
There's probably a ton more that I use.
There's so many.
Yeah.
I think that's my thing is I almost feel like now one of my goals is I use so many that I'm trying to like streamline.
Yeah, scale back.
Scale back a little bit. Yeah. But I guess the only other one I kind of wanted to mention is my team has had major success in using a project management software. So that's everything from like there's Basecamp, which is what we use, but there's Monday, Asana, there's so many.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they do have free versions, but those I do love in terms of like, okay, here's our project, where are we, to-dos done, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
most of them, they have different like views so that depending on what works best for you and your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Those are cool.
I agree.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Those are our digital tools.
So.
Okay. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Top Secret Wedding Podcast.
Subscribe, rate, and review us, and we'll see you next time.